First off, this is a tragedy. And this is not any typical case, right? We dealing with a recording artist, millions of fans, influencing a lot of people. I'm not here to spread rumors. But when you cancel tours and brands start pulling away, that tells something about how dark and serious this really is.
I can't ever stop. I got way too much to gain before the box. I got way too much to gain up at the top. That beef ain't it don't compute.
What's the word, squad, and welcome back for another reaction. Here today we're gonna be talking about the case of recording artist David, who was about to go on tour when he was connected to a body that was found in his trunk in a lot. This is crazy. This is, I mean, I'm lost for words in a sense because I can't believe that the timeline and everything that's coming forward, squad. But this is tragic, man. It's a tragedy. So we about to get into it, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Without further ado, squad, let's get into it, man.
So the David situation just keeps getting darker, and some new stuff has been circulating over the last couple of days that, I'm not going to lie, it sounds like other people might have been in danger based on what was going on, with David and this young underage girl, Celeste. Okay, it's very strange, it's very spooky, and based on a couple of messages that have been circulating, it does sound like there's a possibility that there could be another victim. Another person might have lost their life.
So now we're considering a second victim. I gotta hear this one.
Having been tangled up in this twisted love triangle, and as I said before, this just keeps getting sadder and sadder. Now, if you saw the video that I posted yesterday, I did a full 2-hour breakdown about the whole situation. I really couldn't believe what I was seeing. I did this video yesterday, all right? David hid clues about murder in every song. I didn't intend for this originally to be 2 hours, but I just kept finding facts. I kept finding info. I kept finding lyrics and music videos.
So anybody who doesn't know, just in case, this is world news, international news. Everyone's talking about it on the news platforms, every media. This is the artist right here that you're looking at right now. His case is that the body of a 15-year-old young lady was found in the trunk of his Tesla, and the whole thing is under investigation now. He's under investigation, and a lot of people are putting together the clues that he allegedly left in his music. Not even to touch on the performances that he was doing, bringing caskets to performances
that were extremely alarming. And, you know, you guys have kind of given your response on this. I think everybody is just in shock and disbelief over what's going on. This comments put him in J4.
If you're hanging out with the freshly out of elementary school, that's it. Even certain. Let me make sure. If you hanging out with a freshly out of elementary school child, that's the key. As someone who is in college / university, you are suspect. I agree. You shouldn't be doing that.
IL put D4vd in J4IL, saying if you're hanging out with a freshly out of elementary school child as someone who's in college, university, you are suspect. It says his song lyrics read like poems from a 14-year-old emo kid who got grounded. People saying they'd never heard of him. The man was singing PDF jingles.
I never heard of David until this case, right? But I do understand how popular he was. I don't know if he won a Grammy or he was Grammy nominated, but he seemingly came out of nowhere with this case in my eyes.
This is what I'm going to talk to you about today. It says her brother said in a chat that he said he was waiting till she turned 18 to marry her. I just don't understand how so many people knew and didn't question it or do anything. Now, it's interesting that he would say that because there's this image that's been going around on Reddit. It says, I don't know if this has been posted yet, but here's a screenshot from one of Celeste's stories. Now, that's her left hand and that's her ring finger. This is an engagement ring, okay? This is an engagement ring. I guess this would have allegedly been her Finstagram account, and she's showing off a big rock. She's showing off an engagement ring with love hearts. She's out for lunch or dinner or a smoothie or something with David, right? We recognize that little spot star on his head from from the last video. He'd appeared. It's in the video thumbnail.
This is bad, squad.
It's the same image of him with the little star on his head. Are those spots like zit stickers? I'll be using those. I got the blue ones. I definitely can't be rocking the black ones now. That's a bad look. But yeah, people are saying that this is an engagement ring. Okay, so this is essentially something that's been going around. I did touch on this in the last video, but I didn't really have time. There was a whole bunch of stuff I didn't even get a chance to get to.
And something that's coming to my head, y'all motherfuckers are enablers, yo. Stop doing that. Because I can easily say y'all were complacent in this shit. Y'all was in his Discord talking amongst yourselves. Y'all knew what was going on and nobody said nothing. I'm not trying to hear y'all, somebody typed it in. No, y'all didn't do nothing. Y'all didn't say nothing. Y'all didn't report it to nobody. So y'all got to hold that too.
But trigger warning, okay? I'm making this video for documentary journalistic purposes, okay? This is a story in the public interest. It's a public
trigger
story,
warning.
And I just need to give you...
He gave me one. I got to give you one. Trigger warning. You might not like what you're about to see. So this is the moment where you click off. I appreciate you, though. Make sure you subscribe. Come back to my next video. It might not be this, this heavy, but I salute you.
Guys, a warning, okay? I don't intend to disrespect or put down or belittle any of the situations that I'll be covering in this video. It's a very serious topic. It's very important that I warn you that we're going to be talking about very triggering themes like SA, an underage girl seemingly being groomed, and very nefarious activities. So, if that's not for you, if that's something that's going to be triggering for you, don't watch the rest of this. But essentially, this post is going around that Celeste's brother speaks up and reveals that David did kill his sister. Whole chat attached. And they're saying that this is her brother. All right, this is a screenshot of something that I touched on in the last video. Celeste's brother speaks up and reveals that David did kill his sister. Okay? And this is a chat. Somebody says, dude, why does David follow you? All respect to your sister, and I hate how shitty people are being. Was it really him? Jesus, all love, man. He replied, yes, it was him, because he found my account out of nowhere and followed me. This dude says, fuck. Well, he has it coming. That's wild to just randomly. Did you ever even talk to him? I met him once in person. He says, something being with him, like, was she living with him? All of this shit's so confusing and disgusting. And he replies, I knew and I went to the police about it, but they said lack of evidence, so he waved off. They responded, bullshit. Now that there's 1,000 people backing you up, that won't happen again. But if they had listened, he says, even if they don't do anything, they haven't even done anything towards him. And they reply, that's how it is with celebrities. Just look at fucking Diddy. They don't do shit. He says, I know it effing sucks. Effing crazy that people suffer for it. How long has she been gone? And he replied, dead. And he says 2 weeks. Now, this might have been a big reveal. I don't know if this is necessarily accurate. There's been a lot of speculation over how long the body had been left in that trunk.
Now, I ain't no medical examiner, no coroner. And another thing I want to say is all of this stuff is allegedly. Nothing is nothing has been clarified as like factual evidence. So you may have, take this information and do your own research with it. But again, I'm not no medical examiner. I'm gonna go on the record and say she been in that trunk for about a year. The way they was talking about, the decomposition of the body and the state of it in that trunk, I'm gonna go on a limb and say she was in that joint for at least a year. The evidence was saying that Celeste was reported missing in April 2024. I believe she's been, since then.
Trigger warning, but the body had been cut up, wrapped in plastic, and it had been severely decomposed. That's what the police said. Now, he's saying 2 weeks. That could be information that's been revealed to the family privately to say that the body was decomposed and she would have passed away 2 weeks ago. Or maybe he knows, maybe she stopped replying 2 weeks ago. Maybe they last heard from her 2 weeks ago. Maybe that's an indication of she was active until 2 weeks ago.
That's what it was.
I don't know for sure. So the person replies, says, damn, that soon? People have been saying like a month. The dude's a weirdo. His songs all have weird messages and imagery. He says, what do you think happened? Like he didn't just want her to expose him being with her? The brother replies, I don't know. He says, damn, was your sister like in love with him and choosing to stay? I'm guessing that it was all just him manipulating her. He said, yeah, she was always saying that he was waiting till she was 8.
Yeah, she was always saying that he was waiting till she was 18 to get married. I think, and this is just me, right? You can back me up on this if you agree. I think that all pedophiles who target minors should be legally castrated. I think they should be sewn up like Ken and live like a eunuch for the rest of their life. Yeah, that's what I think. I'm just saying.
18 to get married and stuff like that. He replied, effing sick. What's crazy about all those people in his circle who knew and say stuff? I saw one guy did get sued by something pushing. He said, dog what? I never knew that. My sister wouldn't say anything ever. He says, dude, there's so much stuff in the Discord that he has. He says, what the F? There's a Discord?
That's what pisses me off, Squad. That's what pisses me off. Because now it seems like people don't never... We got to be proactive, not reactive. Y'all sat around and talked about this in the Discord. But then there's also a problem with the justice system as well. These cases are too familiar. They're happening too much. We know that the victims of SA are undermined. We know that, bro. And that shit, y'all got to change that. That's why these victims be taking so long to come out and report and go to the authorities, because y'all treat the cases the way y'all do. Oh, lack of evidence. Well, go look into this shit. How about that? At least go look into it. Y'all just be dismissing it. Oh, it was a lack of evidence. Can you show me something? Is it on camera? You got a picture of it? Is he in the house right now? Is he holding her down? Is she tied up right now? Is she in handcuffs? Is she only peeing in a bucket? Like, shut up. Go look into the shit. Damn.
Stuff. I wasn't in it, obviously, but from what I know, he was decently active in it. And some screenshots and screen recordings
man. This shit gotta stop.
After the news showed one guy saying this. This is the post from the Discord. Somebody commented that would drop the song about the missing girl Celeste Rivas. This was all the way back in August 2024. And he says, what the F? No way, dude. Please send me more if you know. He says, I got you, bro. Let me find everything that's been posted for you. That's why I said so many people were after David now after this.
That might not even be so much evidence. We live in a world where that might not even be her brother. God forbid what the family is going through. Rest in peace to that young lady. Sending my thoughts and condolences to their family. But this is crazy.
To back this stuff up, the brother replies, dude, I never knew this stuff. And then this random guy says, only a small number of people were aware until today. The brother replied, I wish I could have known. I could have used this. And the dude replies, you don't have your sister added on Discord, right? The bro replies, I don't even have Discord.
Right.
And this dude says, yeah, I was just seeing because someone had a screenshot of her account.
Okay, because
And then this guy replies, said, this is what I got. He sends all the Discord screenshots, bunch of lyrics, other posts, other comments, sends it all to the brother. He said, "Are those photos something? I don't know if that's just those photos real or those photos in here." And that song was an unreleased David song. And he's posting all of this stuff.
This is bad.
Here's the video proving those messages are real. And he replies, "Are those photos of her?" He says, "Yes. Do you know of any of your sister's Instagram accounts? There were some messages people said was her messaging friends, but not really confirmed yet." And then he sends these screenshots, which, look, these are screenshots from a leaked conversation with Celeste and a friend where she appears to admit to having relations with David, all right? And then the brother sends a bunch of pictures of Celeste saying, "That's my sister, dog. That's
She's
the
like
same girl."
10 in those
He
pictures,
says,
yo.
"It is." And he says, "You think this is real?" And now this is where it gets crazy and we start talking about another victim. "Yes, do you think this is real? These are the chat boxes, okay?" And look, I don't know if it's safe to show you this in this video. I didn't show it to you in the last video, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here and I'm gonna show you these messages, okay? Trigger warning. These are very dark, but I'm just gonna read these to you and I'm gonna try and redact anything super messed up.
So this is, I know that part, so I really don't want to, like, we ain't gonna touch on that. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna fast forward here because
that chat appears.
That's what I'm doing.
Reveal that the girl Celeste may have had relations with another person by the name of Gus, right? And then that's where we come back to this comment. Okay, so those screenshots that I just breezed through are here, and they were sent to this person who's allegedly Celeste's brother, and they say, "Do you think this is real?" And the alleged brother replies, "Yes, I do. I know who Gus is. He's dead." And the person asks, "What happened?" And they say, "He got shot up, dead." And then the comment says, "You think by David or just some other stuff?" Now, I think I saw an extended version of this where he seemed to reply that it was some other stuff. Yeah, so here's the last part of that message is, he said, "You think it was a shot by David or just some other stuff?" And the guy just very ominously says, "Other stuff." And then that's the end of the conversation. They say, "Okay, now look, I'm not going to lie to you. This is all sounding a bit too suspicious. You're telling me that this Gus guy, this other guy, you've got a love triangle. These two guys are fighting over this young ting, this underage
So now,
person.
Gus could be a potential victim. He could be a potential victim. And yo, let me tell you why this is so crazy, man. Because we living in a day and age where text messages can be faked. Text messages can definitely be faked and altered and manipulated, man. I don't know what's real today, and this is not good, man.
All right, and this guy Gus is apparently getting his thing on. They're having some kind of argument. Someone was mad because she said he was mad because I didn't want to have a with him. Twisted, absolutely twisted. Okay, so it sounds like this Gus guy is dead. All right, and we're waiting for more information to come out about this Gus guy. I don't know who this Gus guy is. I don't know what this is all about. But in the midst of that, we're beginning to see more and more little tidbits of evidence come out that are just even more and more damning. So another post has been going around on the David subreddit saying David was wearing her bracelets. That's a picture of him with some bracelets on, and people are saying it's the same bracelets that Celeste had on in this picture. Now, I'm finding it hard to see that, but it kind of does look like
that's inconclusive.
The little pink joint that's going on here. I don't know if it's exactly the same one, but it does look very similar. The kind of hues look a bit similar. Now, one thing that I find a little bit strange, and I've been trying to find some evidence to this, but I seem to remember when the news first broke, I thought that I'd seen a couple of articles basically saying that another body was found. You know,
ain't no way.
If we're talking about this alleged person called Gus that was killed, that sounds like a man.
I never heard this story of two people.
I did remember this, and I haven't been able to find anybody else talking about this, and maybe there's no connection, but I did see at the time articles going around that suggested 2 women were found in cars being investigated as homicides.
They'd have been on it.
It seemed, I don't know whether this was 2 unrelated situations, or whether it's the same situation, or whether maybe they initially thought there were 2 bodies because of the way that, you know, sadly the bodies were separated, if that makes sense. But it says the LA County Medical Examiner has released new details on the remains of one of two women who were discovered in vehicles at two tow yards this week. Both deaths are investigated as homicides. One woman's remains were discovered Monday when police responded to the Hollywood tow on Mansfield Avenue. Someone smelled a foul odor coming from the front trunk of the vehicle, and detectives investigated possible human remains. We learned about that car. The descendant was found severely decomposed inside a vehicle. She appears to have been deceased inside the vehicle for an extended period of time before being found. We were unable at the time to examine the age or ethnicity.
2025.
Initially, the remains were described as a head and torso. The owner of the vehicle was identified as David. And here's what's interesting, right? The body of a second woman was found Tuesday in South Los Angeles after family members filed a missing persons report. The family had tracked a woman to a scorched Honda Civic that was being held on a tow yard at West Gage Avenue. The tow yard operator called LAPD and said family members wanted to look at the car. Investigators rushed to the scene and found the woman's partially burned body in the trunk. The car had been towed onto the lot Sunday from the 6800 block of South Flower Street. The vehicle had been extinguished by LA City Fire, but firefighters never checked in the car and didn't see the woman's remains. So, look, it's not necessary that these two are connected. I think this could have been a coincidence. When the first reporting came out and they were talking about two bodies, I wasn't sure if it was two bodies in the same car, two bodies in different car, maybe two cars towed from the same spot. It looks like these are two separate things. But it's just so bizarre. And I think the thing about this Gus guy, when we find out more about him, I think that's going to be very revealing.
It is. I agree. So now that we have a second potential victim, Gus, they're going to have to look into that. And if that ties back into this case, and we found out David had something to do with the death of that guy, man, you're going to put him under the jail. You hear me?
Still been a lot of discussion about the potential motive, and some people have been saying that there's rumors that Celeste might have actually been pregnant at the time of her passing.
Oh my days. So now we're talking about a third victim. We're talking about a third victim, squad. So they're going to find out. Yeah, I like to believe they will to some degree. They did say the state of the body that was found was pretty bad, so it's making it harder for them to find out the cause of death. But if they find out she was pregnant, man, what is going on?
And who knows? Could that have, if that was the case, could that have been David's baby? Could it have been Gus's baby? Who knows? Who knows how twisted this love triangle could really get at this point, right? But these posts have been going around, and people are suggesting that maybe the messages infer that she could have been pregnant at the time. So David says, "I'll join the group chat with wifey and give y'all the story time." And it says, "Me and deleted user. This is David. Got a kid on the way." And then this is a conversation. Somebody saying,
married or single?
Basically, David, are you happily married or single? And basically, they're trying to find out what the relationship status is with him. And this deleted user, I think it's possible that this was Celeste. It's possible, all right? Atting David in the chat amid those rumors. People talking about a kid on the way. That was a heart-stopping moment to read. Jesus Christ. Bruh, double homicide.
Wow.
It's from 2024. She died 25 and couldn't have been pregnant. The last confirmed spotting of her was July 2024. The same month, both she and David mentioned pregnancy in Discord.
Yeah, well, hold on. That's not true. It's from 2024. She died in 2025. Couldn't have been pregnant. Well, we don't know when she died. Dude, whatever. We don't know when she died. That's why this case is being investigated. We know she went missing in 2024. That's the extent of it. She could have been pregnant then and died pregnant. You see how that worked? Yeah, man. Shit crazy.
Yeah, live until July 2025, meaning she was out of the public eye for an entire year. It's possible she did actually have a kid, which is scary as hell. And people are saying, even if it's a joke, making a joke about having a kid with a 13-year-old at 19 is insane. This guy really is worse than Joker. He was saying deleted user though. It seems like other screen grabs still show her name. Saying yes means she had multiple discords just like on Instagram.
Show those screenshots.
Disgustingly referring to another girl. And it's saying the pregnancy announcement was 2024, so if that was about Celeste, she would have given birth by now. If it's true, then it's possible she had an abortion or miscarriage. She was just a child herself. Having a baby, oh boy, this is so effed. If she was pregnant then, she would have gave birth already. Saying, poor girl, this is so sad. She thought she was living it up. Sometimes teenagers need to listen to their parents. She left multiple times to be with this punk-ass man. Not putting blame on her, but sometimes children do need to follow rules and listen to the adults in their lives.
Real talk.
In such rebellious
Real
ways.
talk.
Again, I'm not blaming.
Who knows what her relationship was with her parents. I'm not pointing fingers at nobody in this regard. It's a very unfortunate situation, but you know, if her parents was trying to get involved and be in her life and see, you know, look after her, sometimes children need to listen and take heed to what they saying, man. That's it.
So please don't come for me. May she rest well.
You see what
he was saying she couldn't have gotten an abortion though. If a 14-year-old showed up to a clinic with a 20-year-old, they would most definitely contact the authorities, especially if they recognized Celeste was a missing child on the run. That's facts. That's facts, right? Some people are saying that these screenshots could be fake. Turning darker by the minute. I'm telling you, he's a sicko.
I told you. So we live
in his breadcrumbs. The investigators are busy. All right.
Question everything, yo.
She probably just wanted to find a way to go see someone to ask for help. It happens all the time for victims. Okay. People saying, would you rather have dinner with David or King Von? That's crazy. Right? This guy says, not sure if there's lots of proof of her wanting to be out other than one tweet where he says you wanted to be with your mum and sister, but this couldn't happen. Okay, actually typing that out, maybe you're right. Just saying that for a lot of it seems like he was manipulating her to be dependent on him to the point that she saw herself as just his girlfriend outside of the context of her being a child. Not defending him and don't mean to make it sound that way. I just think she probably never anticipated or had the mental maturity or age to understand just how much danger she was in. May she rest in peace, honestly. I do think she could have been pregnant potentially at some point or when he killed her. Having a baby with a 14-year-old is not something you can really hide, but murder was not the logical solution. Bro was a certified serial killer psychopath. Statistically, the most dangerous time for a woman with an abusive partner is during pregnancy, so I'm really thinking that's what happens.
Squad. This young lady was definitely groomed. She was definitely manipulated into being around this dude, following his lead. This shit crazy, right? LAPD they treating this case as a homicide investigation. So the response to that, we all waiting for it. We need to figure out what the hell's going on, right? No charges have been filed against David yet. The LAPD hasn't officially named him as a suspect. So again, all of this is speculation, but the connection to his car is kind of crazy. At the end of the day, when you line up all of the facts surrounding this case, it's hard not to see why people are saying it doesn't look good for David. Even if he's not charged, just being tied to this tragedy is damaging on every level. We don't know how his career is going to go from here. That remains to be seen. Till next time, squad. Peace.
I can't ever stop. I got way too much to gain before the box. I got way too much to gain.